Without machines, the modern world wouldn't exist. Everything from how we produce food to how we travel, communicate, and generate power is shaped by a handful of inventions that changed history forever. In this video, we're counting down 15 machines that changed the world, the problems they solved, the consequences they created, and how they continue to shape the world we live in today. Number 15. The light bulb. The light bulb is often linked to Thomas Edison, but its invention was the result of many innovators working over several decades. By the late 19th century, electric lighting had become one of the most transformative technologies ever created, allowing darkness to be replaced instantly with light and fundamentally changing daily life. Early experiments with electric lighting began in the early 19th century. In the year 1802, Humphrey Davy demonstrated the arc lamp, which produced light by passing an electric current between carbon electrodes. Although extremely bright, arc lamps required large amounts of power and produced intense heat, making them impractical for homes or small workplaces. Inventors faced the challenge of creating a light source that was safe, durable, and affordable. Throughout the mid-19th century, researchers focused on incandescent lighting, in which electricity heats a thin filament until it glows. The main difficulty was finding materials that could last without burning out too quickly. In the year 1878, British inventor Joseph Swan produced a working incandescent lamp using carbonized paper filaments. Around the same time, Thomas Edison developed a similar bulb in the United States, improving filament design and, crucially, creating a complete electrical system that included generators, wiring, and sockets. In the year 1879, Edison demonstrated a practical bulb that could operate for hundreds of hours. While he was not the sole inventor, his system-based approach made electric lighting commercially viable. In the year 1882, he built the first electric power station in New York City, supplying electricity to homes and businesses. The light bulb reshaped modern civilization. Cities became safer and more active after dark. Factories extended working hours, and homes became more comfortable. More than a simple invention, the light bulb transformed how humans live, work, and experience time itself. Number 14. The airplane. When Orville and Wilbur Wright achieved the first powered flight at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, in December of 1903, the journey lasted only 12 seconds and covered just 120 feet. Yet in that brief moment, humanity entered the age of aviation. The airplane would become one of the most transformative machines in human history. The dream of flight had existed for centuries. Leonardo da Vinci sketched flying machines in the 15th century, and hot air balloons allowed humans to rise into the sky in the 18th. However, balloons could not be controlled with precision. The true challenge was powered, heavier than air flight. The Wright brothers succeeded by solving three critical problems: lift, propulsion, and control. They designed wings shaped to generate lift, built a lightweight gasoline engine for thrust, and created a system of three-axis control that allowed pilots to steer an aircraft in the air. Their breakthrough sparked rapid progress. Within a decade, airplanes became faster, more reliable, and more capable. During the First World War, aircraft were used for reconnaissance, aerial combat, and bombing, proving their military value. In the 1920s and 30s, commercial aviation emerged. Airlines began carrying passengers and mail across long distances, and aircraft such as the Douglas DC-3 made air travel practical and affordable. The airplane transformed how people viewed the world. Distances that once seemed vast became manageable. Families could remain connected across continents, and cultures became more closely linked. Aviation also produced iconic figures, including Charles Lindbergh and Amelia Earhart, whose long-distance flights captured global attention. Military aviation expanded further during the Second World War, reshaping warfare. Later, jet engines allowed planes to fly higher and faster, and wide-body aircraft enabled mass air travel. Despite concerns over fuel use, noise, and environmental impact, aviation remains essential. The airplane reshaped civilization by connecting humanity on a truly global scale. Number 13. The computer. Few machines have reshaped human society as profoundly as the computer. From early calculating tools to today's powerful digital systems, computers have transformed science, business, communication, and everyday life. The roots of computing stretch back several centuries. In the 17th century, inventors such as Blaise Pascal and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz built mechanical calculators capable of performing basic arithmetic. In the 19th century, Charles Babbage designed the analytical engine, a machine that included ideas similar to modern computers, such as memory, a processing unit, and the ability to follow instructions. Although Babbage never completed the machine, his collaborator Ada Lovelace recognized that such a device could be programmed to perform tasks beyond simple calculation. The shift to electronic computing occurred in the 20th century. In the 1930s and 40s, machines like the Z3 in Germany and Colossus in Britain demonstrated programmable electromechanical computing. In the year 1945, the ENIAC became the first widely recognized general-purpose electronic computer. Using thousands of vacuum tubes, it performed calculations far faster than any previous machine. A major breakthrough followed in 1947 with the invention of the transistor. Smaller and more reliable than vacuum tubes, transistors allowed computers to shrink in size and cost. Integrated circuits and microprocessors later accelerated this progress, leading to personal computers entering homes and offices. The spread of the internet in the 1990s transformed computers into global communication tools. Today, computers shape how we work, learn, connect, and entertain ourselves. Yet they also raise concerns about privacy, automation, and inequality. Despite these challenges, the computer remains one of the most influential machines ever created, shaping the modern world at every level. Number 11. The steam engine. The steam engine is one of the most transformative machines in human history. Although people had experimented with steam power since ancient times, including early devices such as the one built by Hero of Alexandria, steam remained impractical for centuries. It was only in the 18th century that steam power became capable of reshaping societies. The first major breakthrough came in the year 1712, when Thomas Newcomen developed an atmospheric steam engine to pump water from coal mines. His design used steam to create a vacuum inside a cylinder, pulling a piston downward and lifting water from deep underground. While effective, the engine was inefficient and consumed large amounts of coal. Despite its limitations, it represented a critical advance, and hundreds of Newcomen engines were installed across Britain in the early 18th century. The true revolution came several decades later, with James Watt. In the 1760s and 70s, Watt introduced a separate condenser that greatly improved efficiency by reducing wasted heat and fuel. He also redesigned the engine to produce rotary motion rather than simple back-and-forth movement. This allowed steam engines to power machinery directly, making them suitable for factories rather than being limited to mining. Through his partnership with Matthew Boulton, Watt's improved engines spread rapidly, especially in textile mills. Steam power replaced water wheels and freed factories from rivers, allowing industry to expand into cities. This shift reshaped where people lived and worked, accelerating urban growth. The steam engine's influence extended beyond factories into transportation. Steam-powered locomotives and ships reduced travel times and connected distant markets. The opening of the Liverpool and Manchester Railway in 1830 marked the start of modern rail transport. By shrinking distances and accelerating trade and ideas, the steam engine transformed how people experienced time and space. Although later technologies replaced it, the steam engine laid the foundation for the industrial world and modern society itself. Number 9. The telegraph. The telegraph was the first machine to make near-instant long-distance communication possible. Its introduction in the 19th century marked the beginning of the information age. Before the telegraph, messages could travel only as fast as people. Information moved by ship, horseback, or rail, and even the most urgent news often took days or weeks to reach its destination. The telegraph transformed this reality by collapsing long time scales into minutes and seconds. For the first time in history, information could move faster than physical transport. This breakthrough reshaped commerce, diplomacy, warfare, and everyday life, laying the foundation for a more connected world. Early experiments with electrical communication began in the late 18th century. Scientists such as Alessandro Volta and André-Marie Ampère demonstrated that electricity could travel through wires, inspiring inventors to imagine new signaling systems. Practical solutions emerged in the 1830s and 1840s, when Samuel Morse in the United States and Charles Wheatstone and William Cooke in Britain developed functioning telegraph networks. Morse's system became the most widely adopted. It used a single wire and a simple code of dots and dashes, later known as Morse code, to represent letters and numbers. Operators sent electrical pulses by tapping a key, while receivers recorded the signals as sounds or marks. The system was reliable, efficient, and easy to learn, allowing telegraph lines to spread rapidly across nations. In the year 1844, Morse publicly demonstrated his telegraph by sending the message, "What hath God wrought?" from Washington to Baltimore. By the 1850s, telegraph wires ran alongside railroads, linking cities and enabling faster coordination of transportation, trade, and news. The most ambitious achievement of the telegraph era was the transatlantic cable. After early failures, a permanent connection was completed in 1866, allowing Europe and North America to communicate in near real time. Messages that once took weeks now traveled in minutes. Although later technologies such as the telephone and radio replaced it, the telegraph remained in use well into the 20th century. Its legacy endures as the first machine to truly shrink the world through instant communication. Number 8. The turbine. The turbine is one of the most important machines in the modern world, even though it often operates out of sight. It forms the backbone of nearly all large-scale power generation. Driven by steam, water, gas, or wind, turbines convert flowing energy into rotational motion, producing the electricity that powers modern civilization. Before the turbine, generating large amounts of mechanical power was inefficient and limited. Early systems relied on water wheels and windmills, which were constrained by geography, weather, and scale. These machines could power small mills or pumps, but could not meet the growing energy demands of expanding cities and industries. As industrialization accelerated, a more reliable and powerful solution became essential. The breakthrough came in the late 19th century. In the year 1884, British engineer Charles Parsons developed the first practical steam turbine. Unlike earlier piston-based engines that moved back and forth, Parsons' turbine used a continuous flow of steam to spin blades mounted on a rotating shaft. This design delivered smoother motion, higher speeds, and far greater efficiency, making turbines ideal for electricity generation. Turbines quickly replaced older steam engines in power plants. Steam turbines paired with generators enabled electricity production on an unprecedented scale. At the same time, water turbines made it possible to harness rivers through dams, creating hydroelectric power. In the 20th century, gas turbines expanded turbine technology further, becoming essential in jet engines and modern power stations. The turbine solved a fundamental problem by converting energy from heat, water, or combustion into continuous and reliable motion. This allowed entire cities and industries to be supplied with consistent power, day and night. Today, nearly every major energy source relies on turbines, including coal, nuclear, hydroelectric, wind, and solar thermal power. Although rarely noticed, the turbine remains one of the most influential machines ever created, sustaining modern life through the silent generation of power. Number 7. The oil drilling rig. The oil drilling rig is one of the most influential machines of the modern era. By enabling the extraction of petroleum from deep beneath the Earth's surface, it fueled transportation, powered industry, and reshaped the global economy. Although often hidden in remote regions or far offshore, oil rigs have played a central role in shaping modern life. Before oil drilling became widespread, societies depended on wood, coal, animal power, and small amounts of naturally occurring oil. Petroleum was collected from surface seeps and used mainly for lamps, waterproofing, or medicinal purposes. These sources were limited and unreliable. As industrialization accelerated during the 19th century, demand for energy grew rapidly, and existing fuels could no longer support expanding cities, factories, and transportation systems. The modern oil industry began in the year 1859, when Edwin Drake drilled the first successful oil well in Pennsylvania. Using a steam-powered drilling rig, he reached underground oil reserves that had previously been inaccessible. This breakthrough transformed oil into a reliable and scalable energy source. Drilling rigs quickly spread across North America and later around the world, unlocking vast petroleum reserves. The oil drilling rig solved a critical problem by providing access to a fuel that was dense, transportable, and versatile. Petroleum could be refined into fuels that powered internal combustion engines, ships, and aircraft. It also became the foundation of the petrochemical industry, supplying materials for plastics, fertilizers, synthetic fibers, and countless industrial products. Modern transportation and manufacturing would not exist without this steady supply of oil. However, oil drilling also brought far-reaching consequences. Nations became heavily dependent on petroleum, turning oil into one of the most strategically important resources in the world. Competition over access to oil reshaped global politics and fueled conflicts throughout the 20th century. Today, oil drilling rigs remain central to the global energy system. Even as renewable energy grows, their influence continues to shape modern civilization. Number 6. The cotton gin. When Eli Whitney patented the cotton gin in the year 1794, he could not have foreseen the immense impact it would have on economies, societies, and political systems. Simple in design, the cotton gin nevertheless became one of the most consequential agricultural machines in history. By dramatically accelerating the processing of cotton, it transformed agriculture in the United States and reshaped global trade for generations. Before the cotton gin, removing seeds from cotton fibers was slow, exhausting work. Long staple cotton, grown mainly along coastal regions, could be cleaned by hand with relative ease. Short staple cotton, which could grow across much larger inland areas, was far more difficult to process. A single worker might spend an entire day separating seeds from just 1 pound of cotton. As demand for cotton textiles rose in the late 18th century, this labor-intensive process severely limited production. Whitney's cotton gin mechanized seed removal. Using a rotating drum fitted with wire teeth, the machine pulled cotton fibers through a fine mesh that trapped the seeds. Brushes then cleaned the fibers. What once required hours of manual labor could now be done in minutes. A single cotton gin could process dozens of pounds of cotton in a day. The results were immediate. Cotton cultivation expanded rapidly across the American South, and cotton became the region's dominant crop. By the mid-19th century, the United States supplied most of the world's cotton. Whitney had hoped his invention would reduce labor demands. Instead, profitability drove plantation owners to expand land use and increase reliance on enslaved labor. By the year 1860, millions were enslaved within the southern cotton economy. Globally, the cotton gin linked American agriculture to European industry, fueling industrial growth while leaving a legacy of profound human suffering. Number 5. The telephone. When Alexander Graham Bell patented the telephone in the year 1876, he introduced a machine that fundamentally changed how humans communicate. Unlike the telegraph, which relied on coded messages sent over wires, the telephone transmitted the human voice itself. This breakthrough made communication faster, more personal, and far more accessible, reshaping daily life across the modern world. The idea of sending voices electrically had been explored by several inventors throughout the 19th century. Bell, working with his assistant Thomas Watson, succeeded in creating a practical device that could convert sound waves into electrical signals and then back into sound at a distance. In March of 1876, Bell famously spoke the first words ever transmitted by telephone. "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." That brief exchange marked the beginning of a communication revolution. Adoption was rapid. In the year 1877, the first commercial telephone line was established. By the 1880s, telephone exchanges allowed many users to connect through manual switchboards. In the early 20th century, automatic exchanges replaced human operators, and telephone networks expanded into homes, offices, and factories. The social and economic impact was immense. Businesses could communicate instantly with suppliers and customers, greatly improving coordination and efficiency. Emergency services, governments, and military organizations benefited from faster and more reliable communication. On a personal level, the telephone transformed social relationships. Conversations no longer required physical presence, allowing families and friends to stay connected across long distances. Throughout the 20th century, the telephone continued to evolve. Rotary dials gave way to touch-tone dialing, and later to digital systems. Eventually, cellular technology freed the telephone from wires altogether. The mobile phone, a direct descendant of Bell's invention, became one of the most widely used technologies in human history. What began as a simple experiment in sound transmission reshaped how the world speaks, works, and connects. Number 3. The power loom. Before the power loom, weaving cloth was slow, exhausting, and entirely manual. Most fabric was produced in small workshops or private homes using hand looms. Even the most skilled weavers were limited by human strength and endurance, which kept production low and inconsistent. As spinning machines increased the supply of yarn, weaving became a bottleneck that constrained the entire textile industry. The power loom solved this problem by mechanizing the weaving process. Developed in the 1780s by Edmund Cartwright, it used external power to automate tasks that had once required skilled human labor. Water power, and later steam power, drove the shuttle and pressed the threads into place with speed and precision. Cloth could now be produced faster, more cheaply, and with far greater consistency. This innovation completed the industrialization of textiles. Fabric production finally matched the rapid pace of yarn spinning, and weaving moved from homes and workshops into centralized factories. Output could now be scaled on an unprecedented level, transforming textiles into one of the first fully industrialized industries. The power loom also brought significant social disruption. Many hand weavers lost their livelihoods, leading to widespread resistance. In the early 19th century, groups known as Luddites destroyed machinery they believed threatened their survival. At the same time, factory work drew large numbers of people into growing industrial cities. Long hours, low wages, and unsafe conditions became common, and women and children formed a large part of the workforce, reshaping family life and social norms. Despite these consequences, the power loom laid the foundation for modern manufacturing. Today's automated factories and global clothing supply chains trace their origins to this machine. More broadly, the power loom established a pattern that continues today. Technological progress increases efficiency, but often at the cost of social disruption. The debates surrounding automation and labor in the modern world echo the same tensions first introduced by the power loom more than 2 centuries ago. Number 2. The wheel and axle. Though simple in appearance, the wheel and axle is one of the most important machines ever created by humans. First developed more than 5,000 years ago, it provided a new way to convert circular motion into forward movement. This breakthrough made transportation, agriculture, and industry far more efficient. More than a single invention, the wheel and axle represented a fundamental shift in how humans interacted with the physical world. The earliest evidence of wheels dates back to around 3,500 years before the Common Era in Mesopotamia. Archaeologists have uncovered clay models of wheeled carts, as well as the remains of full-sized vehicles from this period. Early wheels were carefully crafted from solid wooden planks joined together. Over time, spoke designs reduced weight and improved performance. Crucially, the wheel was paired with the axle, allowing the wheel to rotate freely while supporting heavy loads. The first major use of the wheel and axle was transportation. Carts and wagons pulled by animals dramatically increased the ability to move goods and people across long distances. This multiplied human and animal labor, enabling trade, migration, and the expansion of early civilizations. The wheel quickly became essential to economic growth and social development. Beyond transport, the wheel and axle found countless other uses. Pottery wheels, appearing thousands of years ago, transformed ceramic production. The same principle underlies pulleys, gears, mills, and complex mechanical systems. It also changed warfare by enabling chariots and later heavy artillery. Even today, the wheel remains everywhere. Automobiles, trains, turbines, and industrial machines all depend on rotating motion. Without the wheel and axle, modern civilization as we know it would not exist. Number 1. The Internet. The Internet is not a single machine like a wheel or a steam engine, but it is one of the most transformative systems ever created by humans. It is a vast global network of servers, cables, satellites, and wireless signals that connects billions of people. What began as a small experiment in digital communication has become the backbone of modern life. The origins of the Internet lie in Cold War research. In the 1960s, the United States Department of Defense funded a project known as ARPANET. Its goal was to build a communication network that could continue functioning, even if parts of it were damaged. A key breakthrough was packet switching, a method that breaks information into small pieces, sends them independently, and reassembles them at the destination. In the year 1969, the first message was sent between university computers in California, quietly marking the birth of the Internet. During the 1980s, personal computers became more widespread, and networking technology improved. The major turning point came in 1989, when Tim Berners-Lee introduced the World Wide Web. By creating hyperlinks and web browsers, he made the Internet easy to navigate and accessible to the public. By the mid-1990s, millions of households were online. The Internet transformed access to knowledge. Search engines, digital libraries, and online education made information widely available. People were no longer just consumers of content, but creators, turning millions into publishers and entrepreneurs. Today, the Internet shapes nearly every aspect of life. People work, learn, shop, and communicate online. Smartphones made constant connection possible, creating new challenges around privacy, misinformation, and social division. Still, the Internet has become the nervous system of modern civilization, shaping how human life unfolds in the digital age. These machines didn't just make life easier, they changed how societies function, how economies grow, and how the world connects. Every modern technology we use today is built on the foundations they created. And as new machines continue to shape our future, the question is not whether technology will change the world again, but how.